Greetings. Today's topic is stemming again, and we want to get some drums out of something that basically there's no drum break here. So let's play this a minute so you can hear. And this is the joint in question today. There's a lot of stuff going on in this, but everybody uses the tools they use, but I'm going to show you a little method to the madness. So we're going to get these drums right here. So I took the liberty already, and we're going to send this ARA to spectral layers. And if I open this up, you'll see spectral layers right there. And I went and did the liberty and took it over there already, and we're here. And I unmixed it, and now I have pretty much everything separated. But let's just listen to this guitar track. Now, I hear percussion. See, normally you would just delete this layer and say forget about it because it's a guitar and a bass playing in there. But I always say when you go to the max amplitude up here, you're going to see all this information right here is the drums. Now, it might not be, so it's really up in here, like from here up. So we're going to go to the frequency range selection tool once again. And we're going to drag this all the way up to the top, and we're going to play it. And that's a lot of high-end frequency of the drums. And we need that. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go, and the drums is at this layer right here, the first layer, and we're going to go to a tool that Spectral Layers has called the transfer tool. And let me just make this pen a little bit, size a little bit smaller. That's a little too small. That's good. So we're going to start drawing in here. And when you're drawing in here, you're removing out that. But this section is the only thing that's highlighted. So I can't go down underneath here and delete down there and add that. I'm only adding what the range I selected. And I'm getting rid of all this high frequencies that you're seeing me brush out. And it's being transferred to the drum layer. And we need that. Keeps the drum's integrity together. Less artifacts and less under the water. Okay? So now that's done. We're going to go here and we're going to deselect. And now you got a whole gap here empty. Now if I play it, you still... Now you hear it, and that's cool because we really want the high-end frequency. So right now we're going to unsolo that, and we're going to mute that out. Let's go to the next track. Now this is the sax and the brass stuff. So let's hear what's going on here. Not really too much information going on. All right, so we can just totally just omit this period. So now let's go to the bass track. Now the bass track, as you can see, we got a lot more of this going on up in here. So we're gonna play it. Look at that, all that's drums. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. So we're going to go and take the time selection range, and we're going to actually just go across to about right here, right? And play it. Maybe not so much that, but pretty much here. Right. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take the transfer tool. Drums is the target selected. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to just paint this out. You know what? Let me make this brush a little bit bigger so I can go a little bit faster. Right. And let's just get all this out. All right. Let's just take all that and get all this out of here. Okay, now I'm not done because there's more information right up in here, but the bass note starts here. So we're going to have to select that as well. All right, so we're going to take the range selection and we're going to go up in here somewhere. All right, and then we're going to do this again. Transfer tool, and just get all this high end frequency. All right, let's get rid of all that out of there. So now, when I play this, it's going to be right. Stuff we really don't need. So now that we got that, let's turn down this amplitude and bring it back down to reasonable looking sense. All right, good. So now we're going to mute the bass. Now, we got one more layer here. That's the other layer. Let's see what this got going on. Oh, more high-end frequencies. Okay, so since we're not going to do that, we're just going to take the transfer tool, and then we're just going to go all up in here, all up in top of there, all up in top of here as well, right? And just go down here where you see these little lines at or whatever. Just take a little bit of that out, maybe up in here as well. Okay. I probably need some. Right. Let's just take some of that out too in the beginning on top up here. Right. So that's pretty decent. All right. So now we're going to mute this. And now we're just left with this drum beat. And let's see what we got. Okay. Now we hear there's a voice in there. And I'm glad that that's showing up right there. Because we're going to go in there and we're going to get that out. So we're going to go here and we're going to take the range rectangular selection. And you see how we're going to select this word right here. And instead of me deleting it out, we're going to do something with a tool they got in here called Edit. It's called the Heal tool. Now for this selection right here, it's more horizontal than vertically, but it's really just a square. So I can say bi-directional. And bam, you see it disappeared. If I deselect, it's totally gone. There's another one right here. We're going to do that as well. So we're going to say heal bi-directional, and now it's gone. So now if we play that back, and it might be right here. No? Can't really hear it. I think I hear it, but it's faintly. It's not destroying me here. All right. So now that that's done, let's see how we can get these transients back, because it sounds a little wishy-washy. Now right in here sounds really good, better than this beginning part. But anyway, let's see what we can do here. So the first thing we can do, because you can load up VSTs, we're going to load some VSTs up. And I have a chain of plugins. And the first thing I'm going to try is, of course, this Trinity Shaper by Plugin Alliance. It's great for drums, man. So we're going to press play and we're going to hear, you're going to see the level and all the harmonics and everything change and get louder, but we're going to see what it does. Okay. It sounds better, but we need to control the noise. So let's try and go back here to Fab Filters Pro G. Great gate for drums. So let's see what happens if I put this on. Let's bring that back. Yeah. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave that off for right now. I don't really want to gate it. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And we're gonna keep this here though. So let's just see if we can put the reverb, the 8210 from TC Electronic, and let me just put this wet dry down to like 20, and let's play it. Okay. So I like the second bar on, but I don't really like this first bar. Now, this sounds pretty decent. I'm going to say apply. And then we're going to leave spectral layers by saying update wavelab file. So now sending it back to wavelab. And we can close this file and we can quit spectral layers. And now we have this B here. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little editing. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy that piece. And we're going to go over here. And get rid of that. Now I could keep the snare on, but I'm not. Paste. So now we have so we got rid of that nasty shit in the beginning. So let's just do this and make it loop so we can hear it looped properly. And let's crop this. Okay. Now you can see we have this beat. Now the levels look a little loud, right? So we can tame that. So for right now, we're going to go to a plugin I like to use by Acoustica Audio. And it's called the Ash. And basically, this is going to keep us going from the red. And did just that. Now, I could settle for the way it sounds. But I think like this right side's power is a little bit weaker than the left side's power. And one thing I can say about Wavelab compared to a lot of other things is that you can independently mess with stuff on the left and right channel that is kind of hard to really do in a DAW, you know, unless you got two separate files of the stereo file. But with this right here, I could just basically be like, instead of me turning this up, I will turn this down. So I will go here to gain, and I will bring it down 2 dBs. Okay, so now when I play it, it's a little bit normal for both sides. Okay. Now, I think I need a little bit of bass. So I'm going to move this down one, the Ash, and I'm going to put something in this place. And I'm going to go to Waves, and I'm going to go to R bass. And let's see what happens. I'm thinking max bass might be better. but let's see. Okay, so it's a lot of mid-range, a little too much for my liking. So we're gonna go back here and we're gonna just say max bass, because I want more lower end because it's a heavier drum. So we're gonna go to my good old preset, Dies, Bassium, and then we're gonna give it a good old playing shot. Okay. Now you hear a lot more low end, a little rumbly because of the needle, you know. So we'll fall back a little bit. Let's say 5 dBs. Now, for me not to have to roll back, see, that's needle noise all up in here. Like all this noise right here is from the needle, from a record. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide this down one more, bring this down one, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go and put the Excellent Audio DS Drum Shaper. This is one of my favorites. So now I'm not going to do anything with the attack, but I'm going to do something with the sustain. I want to actually make it quieter. So I'm going to just bring it down some. And first, you know what? Let's leave it normal, and then I'll just gradually bring it down so you can hear the result. So this is regular, and now we just start bringing it down. Okay. So now I can go back to max bass and bring this back up to like 2. Right. Now, of course, the levels still haven't changed any, but you're hearing the sound change. If I bypass this, you can hear a difference automatically as soon as I cut it all off. It's off. Sounds totally different. All right, I turn it back on. The plug and chain, that is. Right, it got tighter. Now that it's tighter, I'm gonna bring this down one more time, and I'm gonna go back to this max bass, and I'm gonna roll off just a little bit, make it 4 dBs. Right, let's leave it there. Now it sounds a little gappy, so we'll add a little reverb. So let's go here, and now we're just gonna fix the wet and dry so it gives us some air back, so it doesn't sound as dry and choppy. And I think I could roll with this, so I'm gonna select it all, and I'm gonna hit render, and I'm gonna make this into a file. Okay, and now I got my rendered file perfectly done. As you can see, it's not brick walled, it's not, you know, over compressed. It looks pretty much like how it did in the record. Now I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna take all this right here, and I'm gonna copy this to a new window. I'm gonna just duplicate this same thing I just processed, but now I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning, to the original sample, which is right here. So now this is what we started with, the original. Let me make sure I cut that off. So this is regular. And you can hear how low them drums is buried. You know what I'm saying? And what we got now is just this beat without all that other stuff. And they seem to be louder. Feel me? So, you know, taking something out of nothing and making it something is my specialty. So, this is another gem for the stemmers, and want to know how I was getting my stuff so clean, going way back, years back. This was the process that I was getting a lot of my drums, and Now you can do that to your drums and any records that you want to get some drums out of that really didn't have a drum break, but you like the pattern is funky. And with that being said, until the next video, Ghetto Man out.